Jameis Winston's performance in the Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup between the Cleveland Browns and Denver Broncos was a textbook example of the highs and lows that have defined his career. While Winston delivered one of his best-ever passing performances, his costly turnovers ultimately led to a 41-32 loss, overshadowing what could have been a historic night for the Browns. Jameis Winston's historic passing night. Winston's stat line in this game was one of the most prolific in NFL history. He threw for 497 yards, breaking a Brown single-game passing record and setting a new career high for himself. This performance included 4 touchdown passes, proving that Winston can still make big plays when he's on target. He was especially effective early, hitting Jerry Jeudy for 2 completions of 44 yards in the first quarter and showing excellent field vision to find his receivers. Winston's connection with Jeudy was a key factor throughout the game. The veteran quarterback frequently exploited mismatches, particularly against Denver cornerback Levi Wallace. Wallace, filling in for the injured Riley Moss, struggled against Jeudy and Elijah Moore's speed, giving Winston plenty of opportunities to air it. One of his most memorable plays came when he connected with Jeudy for a 70-yard touchdown in the second half, briefly putting the Browns ahead. The bad, costly turnovers. However, for all the good Winston did, his turnovers proved to be the deciding factor in the game. Winston threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which were returned for touchdowns, both pick-sixes that directly contributed to the Broncos' victory. The first pick-six came early in the game when Winston telegraphed a throw to tight end Jordan Akins, allowing Broncos linebacker Nick Bonitto to step in front for the easy interception. Later, another miscommunication led to a pass thrown behind Elijah Moore, which was picked off and returned for another 6 points. The final blow came in the game's dying minutes, when the Browns were driving to tie the game potentially. With Cleveland at the 2-yard line, Winston threw a wobbly pass easily intercepted by Cody Barton, sealing the win for the Broncos and leaving Winston's record-breaking night tainted by critical mistakes. Winston's career-best yardage. Despite the turnovers, Winston's 497-yard performance was a career milestone. It's tied for the 27th most passing yards in a single game in NFL history. His total was just shy of joining the exclusive 500-yard club, which includes some of the most legendary quarterbacks in NFL history. Winston's performance was undoubtedly impressive, but it didn't quite match the NFL record set by Norm Van Brocklin, who threw for 554 yards in a game in 1951. Winston's 497-yard game tied him with Matt Schaub, who set the Houston Texans single-game passing record in 2012 with 527 yards. While it was a career high for Winston, it wasn't enough to overcome his turnovers, and he fell just short of achieving what would have been a truly historic night. NFL's 500-yard passing games. Winston's 497 yards place him among a select group of quarterbacks who have thrown for nearly 500 yards in a game. To put his performance in perspective, here are some of the most notable 500-yard passing games in NFL history. Norm Van Brocklin, Los Angeles Rams, 554 yards, 1951. Matt Schaub, Houston Texans, 527 yards, 2012. Warren Moon, Houston Oilers, 527 yards, 1990. Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals, 525 yards, 2021. Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh Steelers, 522 yards, 2014. Boomer Esiason, Arizona Cardinals, 522 yards, 1996. Dan Marino, Miami Dolphins, 521 yards, 1988. Matthew Stafford, Detroit Lions, 520 yards, 2012. Jared Goff, Los Angeles Rams, 517 yards, 2019. Tom Brady, New England Patriots, 517 yards, 2011. As you can see, Winston's 497 yards ranked just outside the top 25 all-time performances. While his yardage was exceptional, the turnovers ultimately kept him from joining the ranks of NFL quarterbacks, who have thrown for 500 yards in a game. What's next for Winston and the Browns? While Winston's performance was noteworthy, the turnovers are a reminder of why he's been so inconsistent over the years. His ability to make explosive plays downfield is undeniable, but his mistakes in critical moments continue to haunt him. The Browns now sit at 3-9, well out of playoff contention, and they will need to reevaluate their quarterback situation moving forward. Winston's future in Cleveland could be uncertain after the season, especially if these costly errors continue to define his play. For Winston, his career-best passing night will likely be remembered for the wrong reasons. Despite nearly breaking the 500-yard mark, his turnovers were the difference in a game that could have been a career-defining win. The Browns must focus on the future, while Winston will look to bounce back from a performance that highlighted his talent and underscored his struggles. Conclusion. In the end, Winston's 497-yard touchdown game will be remembered as a mix of brilliance and blunders. His passing performance was historic for the Browns, but the turnovers were his undoing. As for the Broncos, their defense made the critical plays needed to secure the win, and they now find themselves still in the playoff hunt as they continue their late-season push.